Hello, and welcome to the Youth Sports Chowdown. It's episode 100. Who would have thought we went 100 episodes? But we're here. And you know what? I want to give everybody a thank you. Thank you for following along this journey the last 2 years. It's been a roller coaster. And thank you to everybody that's helped make this possible. Couldn't do it without you. So thank you to everybody. It's 100 episodes. I hope you enjoyed our very first intro. We've come a long way. So there's that. Got to give my kudos. Real quick, I want to thank our sponsors who make this possible. Once I get my mouse over there. And there it goes. Wabash Valley Plumbing. RJs Formalwear, celebrating 40 years. Varsity House Outfitters, and Haute Co. So thank you, sponsors. Also, thank you to our subscribers. You too can subscribe and support the Diner Podcast on Facebook for 99 cents a month. Go click that link at the top of the Facebook page and follow the instructions. 2 clicks, and there you go. 99 cents, baby. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get down to business. Varsity football, Friday Night Lights, baby. Start off at Terre Haute South. Northview took on Terre Haute South. It was Terre Haute South's homecoming. Also, legendary player Cam Cameron had his jersey retired. It was pretty cool to see that in person. But the game, hey, you win some, you lose some. All right. Braves win 37-26. Some stats for Northview. Colton Bath had 11 pass completions, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 12 carries for 42 yards. Slade Fell, 7 carries for 69 yards, and Avery Perry, 7 catches, 136 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Zane Scales, once again, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I wish you played for about 5 years. First time ever playing. Well, first year, not his first time. First year playing, first year player. 11 tackles, he even had a TFL. Austin Brewer, 10 tackles, 3.5 TFLs. Tristan Mackey, 5 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 2 sacks. Quite a day. Moving to the north side of Terre Haute. Terre Haute North took on Columbus North. The Bulldogs do win 42-0. Then South Putt took on West Vigo. The Eagles win 69-13. Drew Klein led the way. 7 pass completions, 191 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 carries, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Ty Benton had 8 carries, 186 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Khalil Jefferson, 2 catches, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Briar Cook, 2 rushing touchdowns. Kason Ames had a rushing touchdown, and Branson Enzer had a receiving touchdown. On the defensive side of things, Keenan, Mowry, Shields, 18 tackles, 1.5 TFLs. Khalil Jefferson, 4 tackles, 1 TFL, and a sack. Brody Burge had 4 tackles, half of a TFL, a pick, and a 6. Hunter Weddle, 12 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, and Damon Cox, 12 tackles and 2 TFLs. Very impressive by those Eagles. South Vermilion versus Riverton Park. Oh, I forgot the graphic. The Panthers win big time, 61-6. The milk can came home, baby, to Riverton Park. Ben Shyrock, 9 pass completions, 95 yards, a touchdown, 7 carries for 20. Colton Rippey had 2 catches for 57 yards. Colton Robertson added a receiving touchdown. On defense, Christian Peace and Colton Robertson each had 9 tackles. Cody Trebuzio, 3 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. And Will Cloyd, 2 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. Then Park Heritage took on Covington. The Wolves win 28-15. Sawyer Monick, 8 pass completions, 127 yards, a touchdown, 5 carries, and another touchdown. Blake Ledke, 15 carries for 63 yards and a tutty. Justin Cooper, 2 catches, 69 yards, 8 carries for 47, and a touchdown. And Mason Wilcox added a touchdown of his own on the receiving end. Lucas Rhodes and Vinny Golden had 10 tackles each. 10! That's impressive. Clayton Burgess, 7 tackles, 3 TFLs, and 3 sacks. Then some scores around the area because I didn't report on Max Preps when I went to pull stats. So that's on you guys. North Putt took on Southmont. The Mounties win 40-14. Greencastle took on North Montgomery. The Tiger Cubs win 48-42. Cloverdale took on South Decatur. The Clovers win big time, 47-3. And then Cascade took on Crawfordsville. Cascade wins 56-3. Brady Trebley, 14 pass completions, 326 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 3 carries for 2 yards. Lucas Farmer had 6 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Marcus Hobson, big day. 7 catches, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dayton Mink, 2 rushing touchdowns. Toby Savini had a rushing touchdown. And Cooper Levines had a receiving touchdown. Braxton Lewis, 15 tackles. I had to double check my note. But 15 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack, and a pick. Is that a cycle? That's a cycle. We're going to give that the defensive cycle. Good job. Wyatt Minardo, 3 tackles, a TFL, and a sack. Some more scores because they didn't report stats. Avon took on Fishers. Tigers win 29-15. Linton took on North Decatur. The Miners win 38-20. And Sullivan took on Owen Valley, and the Arrows win big 63-0. North Central, Farmersburg, baby. They took on Mitchell. T-Birds win 41-6. Lane Fagley, 11 completions, 240 yards, a touchdown. He had 4 carries for another 9 yards and another touchdown. Lane Simmons going off. He went off, man. 15 carries, 112 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 catch for 13. Sawyer Cox, 6 catches, 156 yards, and Jaden Cole had a receiving touchdown. On defense, Lucas Wheaton had 8 tackles. Ryland Cox, 6 tackles, 1 for a loss and a sack. And Bryson Marlowe had a tackle and a pick. Attica took on North Vermilion in some WRC action. It was homecoming for Attica. The Ramblers win 26-20. Carter Vredenberg, 4 pass completions, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries for another 50. Lucas Griffiths, big game for that young man. He's a freshman. I messed up that cheer, but you know what? He's still a freshman, and he did a darn good job. 19 carries, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mason Irwin had 3 catches, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Then on defense, Peyton Lloyd, 9 tackles. Gabe Dreyer, 8 tackles, 2 TFLs, and 2 sacks. Lucas Griffiths, he's a freshman. I got it right that time. 7 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 2 sacks. Tristan Miller had 2 picks, and Hayden Elliott with an interception of his own. Then Fountain Central took on Seeger. Seeger does win 31-14. Eli Foxworthy had 6 completions for 49 yards. Noah Dodson, 7 carries, 50 yards, 3 catches for 34. Nolan Acton had 3 pass completions, 18 yards, 3 catches for 34. And Spencer Kraut had a receiving touchdown. On defense, Noah Dodson, 12 tackles. Eli Foxworthy with 11. Nolan Acton had 2 tackles and a pick. And then North Davies took on West Washington. Cougars win 26-14. Keaton Graber, 24 pass completions, 274 yards, 3 touchdowns, 22 carries for 69 yards and another touchdown. Anderson Heyman had 9 catches, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Campbell Whitmer had a receiving touchdown. And John Nedeffer, I totally butchered that one, 9 tackles, half of a TFL, and a pick. Then we go to Illinois. Richland County Tigers taking on the Newton Birds. Tigers win 57-34. Gavin Cawthorn, big day. 6 completions, 155 yards, and a passing touchdown. And 18 carries, 181 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Awusu-Yadin, 15 carries, 192 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Reed Klingler, 2 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown. That does it for the prep football. We're moving over to the Wabash Warriors. Warriors took on the Indy Fire. Fire win 2-1. Stella Lawhorn had 6 aces, a kill, and an assist. Audrey Betts, 1 ace, 6 kills, 2 blocks. And Mia Haworth had 4 kills. The JV Warriors then took on the Indy Fire. The Fire do win 3-0. Sophia Lewis, 5 aces, 14 kills, and 4 blocks. Sarah Eldon, 4 aces, a kill, and 26 assists. Zoe Lewis, 2 aces, 7 kills, and a block. Now we move to some Chaos Baseball. Chaos took on the Rockville Icon. Chaos wins 10-4. Parker Hazlitt had 3 hits and a double. Wyatt Tabler, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Cole Sessinger had 2 hits and a ribby. And then on the mound, Liam Fabre, Elijah Farron, and Parker Hazlitt all with 1 strikeout. Then the Chaos take on the SI Savages. Is that Sports Illustrated? Please let me know if that's Sports Illustrated. I want to get that kind of deal. Chaos win 9-8. Liam Fabre had 3 hits and a double. Patrick Stevens, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Cruz Shepard, 2 hits, a ribby, and a double. Reed Robinson had 2 hits and an RBI. Cole Sessinger, Elijah Farron, and Ethan Beasley all double. And Patrick Stevens had 5 strikeouts on the mound. And we move up to Westfield, the Shamrocks, baby. They took on the Primetime 9U, and the Primetime win 12-10. Griff Wellington had a hit, 3 ribbies, and a double. Maxwell Rayleigh, a hit, a ribby, and a double. And Cooper Swain with a double. And on the mound, Cooper Swain, 5 strikeouts. Now we move to the Riley Rec League, and I'm going to call. Excuse me. And the minors, Team Harden wins 11-10. Rylan Bragan had a triple. Eli Volkel a double. Louis Baylor had 2 hits, and Max Harden recorded a hit. And Louis Baylor with 4 strikeouts on the mound. And on the rookies, the Hurricane, Nolan Harden, Bailey Payne, Reese Sanquinetti, Kane Thompson, Graylin Coley, Thaddeus Kesner, Joey and Jared Downing, and Piper Combs all had big hits. Thank you, Tony, for sending in those stats. Now we go to some travel ball. The Warriors went to the September Slugfest. I have no idea where that's at because I didn't look. But they were at the Slugfest, and they got runner-up. Congratulations to the Warriors. Warriors start off against the Outcast. Warriors win 14-13. Delaney Wilson led the way with 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a home run. Willow Stranger had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Emery Fields and Addison Peters had 2 hits and a ribby. Lily Lumpson, 2 hits and a double. Ellie Meisner and Olivia Agoda with 2 hits, and Raylan Wallace with a double. Then the Warriors take on the Pride. Warriors win 16-12. Alice Rusin had 3 hits and 3 RBIs and a double. Lily Lumpson, 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Olivia Goda with 3 hits and a ribby. Aubrey Ofsansky, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Ellie Meisner had 2 hits and 2 ribbies. And Addison Peters and Delaney Wilson each added a double. Then the Warriors take on the Pride yet again. The Pride do win 14-7. Lily Lumpson had 2 hits and a ribby. Raylan Wallace had 2 hits and a double. Willow Stranger, Delaney Wilson, and Emery Fields, 2 hits apiece. Then the Warriors take on the Outcast. The Warriors win 12-11. Lily Lumpson had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Delaney Wilson and Ellie Meisner, 3 hits and a ribby. And Raylan Wallace with a double. Then the Warriors take on the Pride for a third time. Pride win 13-12. Willow Stranger with 3 hits. Delaney Wilson had 2 hits, 2 ribbies, and a double. Kennedy Kiefer and Olivia Goda had 2 hits and an RBI. Ellie Meisner and Raylan Wallace and Addison Peters added 2 hits each. Congratulations to those girls. Outcast 13U Arnold team. They start off against the Canes Midwest. The Canes edge out the Outcast 7-6. Piper Hughes had 2 hits and a ribby. Leah Rawlings had a hit and 2 RBIs. Trinity Tanner, Brookley Barrett, Sophia Parker had a hit and a ribby. And Brindley Arnold had a double. Audrey McClure added 4 strikeouts. And then the Outcasts take on the Gators Premier. The Outcasts win 8-1. Brindley Young, 2 hits and a double. Hannah Klusner had 2 hits. Audrey McClure had a hit and 2 ribbies. Piper Hughes and Leah Rawlings a hit and an RBI. Brindley Young had 2 strikeouts on the mound as well. The Outcasts take on the Kentucky Freedom. Freedom win 11-5. Brindley Young had a hit, an RBI, and a double. Brookley Barrett had a hit and a ribby, and Hannah Klusner had a triple. Then the Outcasts take on the Indy Dreams. Outcasts win 6-5. Brindley Arnold led the way, 2 hits, an RBI, and a double. Trinity Tanner had a hit, a ribby, and a double. Brookley Barrett, Leah Rogers, Rawlings. I knew I'd butcher it. I told you. I'm not that good at spelling. Had a hit and a ribby. Brindley Young had a double, and Sam Mize had a strikeout. The problem is I typed it right. I just can't see. I didn't even have carrots as a child. Remember that, children. Eat your vegetables. Then the Outcasts take on the Kentucky Freedom. The Freedom win 13-1. Brindley Young had a hit and an RBI. And on the mound, a strikeout as well. Now we move to the Outcast 12U Austin team. They went to Fall Brawl in Lagodi. And I had to spell Lagodi for the first time in my life, and I got it wrong so many times. It's pronounced, I always call it Lagodi. That's how I can remember it, but it's Lagodi. The Outcasts take on the Vincennes Sting. Sting wins 6-3. Jocelyn Martin had a hit and a ribby. Maggie Betcher and Tinsley Lamont added a double each, and Millie Hayes had 4 strikeouts. The Outcasts then take on the SI Diamond Queens. The Diamond Queens win 12-3. Addison Austin had a hit, a ribby, and a double, and Scotland Stewart had 2 strikeouts. The Outcasts then take on the Diamond Queens yet again. The Diamond Queens win 11-4. Maggie Betcher with 2 hits and a triple. Now we get to the CYFL. It is the West Central Youth Football League playoffs. We're in week 2, I guess quarterfinals. We're round 2. The Gray Knights took on West Vigo. They played at Sullivan. They had to play at a neutral site. The Gray Knights beat Sullivan beat West Vigo 25-7. Then we moved to Sunday. Not good with my days. Sunday, we had a civil war. The White Knights and the Gray Knights took on each other, and it was a battle. It was a great game to call. It was so much fun, and it was a defensive battle. Final score, 6-2. The Gray Knights win. Some offensive stats for the White Knights, though. Kriegmore had 6 carries, 94 yards, 1 pass completion for 20. Brody Weichel, 3 carries, 7 yards, 1 reception for 20 yards. Grayson Moss, 5 carries for 24 yards. And Leighton Curtis had a carry for 3. On defense, Grayson Moss led the way. He had 5 tackles. Wade Wood, Leighton Curtis, and Cash Long with 2 tackles. Brody Weichel and Max Sheridan and Benny Foxworth each added a tackle. Sebastian Dighton had the lone touchdown for the Gray Pee-wee Knights. So next week, the Gray Knights will take on the Edgewood Mustangs at home. Edgewood is the number 1 seed. It's going to be a tough game, so please come out and support. Now we move to Junior League action if my mouse will cooperate. The Silver Knights took on West Vigo at home. The Knights win 13-0. Grayson Forker had 8 carries, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Landon Pestoff, 6 carries, 33 yards, and an extra point. Kaiden Lark, 5 carries, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Caston Lowry, 2 carries for 19. Zachary Marks, 2 carries for 7. And Asher Loudermilk, 2 carries for 40 yards. On the defensive side of things, Grayson Forker had 8 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Landon Pestoff had 6 tackles. Asher Loudermilk, Lincoln Trout, and Caston Lowry with 4 tackles. Caden Wells, 3 tackles, a forced fumble, and a recovery. Brody Vincel and Jamison Arizmendi each had 3 tackles. Kaiden Lark and Zachary Marks with 2. And Zane Curtis and Liam Solomon with 1. The Black Knights hosted the Edgewood Mustangs, and the Black Knights win 25-6. Kyler Keith had 9 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Gerchik had 8 carries, 49 yards, a touchdown, and an extra point. Cam McCoy had 9 carries, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Gerchik had 6 tackles at TFL. Colin Drury had 3 tackles and a sack. Cam McCoy, 3 tackles and a pick. Jace Barker, 2 tackles and a sack. And Declan, dilly, baby, and Tim Wood each had 2 tackles. Wyatt Hundley, Kyler Keith, and Parker Cox each added a tackle. Now we move to Sunday. The Black Knights had to go to Sullivan. They played Owen Valley, and the Black Knights win 27-6. Kyler Keith went off. He had 8 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns, an extra point, and a 2-point conversion. Xavier Gerchik, 4 carries, 131 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Then on defense, Cam McCoy, 6 tackles, a TFL, and a fumble recovery. Jace Barker, 6 tackles and a TFL. Kyler Keith with 5 tackles, Colin Drury, 4 tackles in TFL. Xavier Gerchik and Tim Wood with 3 tackles each. Jacob Goebel, 2 tackles, 2 TFLs. Devin the Destroyer True and Wyatt Hundley each had 2 tackles. Parker Cox and Kyler Smith with 1. Max Pierce had a tackle and a TFL. Silver Knights took on the other Edgewood team. Edgewood did win 22-13. Grayson Forker had 5 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Landon Pestoff, 4 carries, 18 yards, and a tud. Kyden Lark, 4 carries, 13 yards, and an extra point. Asher Loudermilk had 2 carries for 9 yards. Landon Pestoff had 7 tackles. Grayson Forker with 5. Lincoln Trout had 3. Jameson Arizmendi and Kyden Lark with 2. Caden Wells had a tackle and a fumble recovery. Grayson Allen, Brody Vinsel, Asher Loudermilk, and the Bear, Eli Austin, had a tackle each, and Cashton Lowry with a forced fumble. This coming week, the Black Knights will host, I don't know who they host, but they're going to host a game. Let me look, because I totally butchered that one. They will host, how embarrassing of me to screw up on live television. You guys, like, this has never happened to me before. I just can't believe it. Oh, they take on Edgewood. What? Duh. That's good. Yeah. Black Knights will take on Edgewood next Saturday. I don't know why that was so hard for me. Moving on to the Senior League, we have the White Knights. They took on Edgewood. They win big time, 32-0. Javon Robinson had 6 carries, 154 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dalton DeWitt, 7 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Cree Staley, 5 carries, 30 yards, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion pass. Easton Herbert had the 2-point conversion catch. Then on defense, Parker Neese, 11 tackles. Jonah Harrington with 5 and a sack. Dalton DeWitt had 4 tackles. Cree Staley, Easton Herbert, Jack Dirth, Jacob Greenwell, Jerome Robinson, and River Trussler, 3 tackles each. And Javon added 1 of them for himself. Then the Black Knights, they took on West Vigo. They went in double overtime, 16-14. No stats were reported. Gray Knights took on Owen Valley. The Knights win 12-0. Kendrick Minke had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. The Maroon Knights took on Sullivan. Sullivan wins 24-12. Then we move to Sunday. We have a civil war again. The Black Knights and the White Knights face each other, and the White Knights win 24-0. Javon Robinson, 10 carries, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Dalton DeWitt, 11 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. Cree Staley, 4 carries for 7 yards. Dalton DeWitt led the way on defense, had 8 tackles. Javon Robinson, 7 tackles, and a 65-yard pick 6. Jerome Robinson with 6 tackles. Cree Staley, Jack Dirth, and Jonah Hollywood Harrington, 4 tackles each. Jacob Greenwell with 2. River Trussler had a tackle and a fumble recovery. Grayson Goshen and Parker Neese each added a tackle. Then the Gray Knights took on Sullivan. The Sullivan Golden Arrows edge out the Gray Knights 7-6. So next week we have the White Knights hosting the Sullivan Arrows with 3 games, 9, 10-20, and 11-40. Please come out to the CYFL field and support these kids. And now we get to my favorite part of the show. That's right. It's time for the Red Velvet Power Performers. And this week's Power Performers are Lane Simmons for North Central, Lucas Griffiths from Attica, Keaton Graber for North Davies, Gavin Cawthorn for Olney, Keenan Mowry Shields from South Putt, Braxton Lewis from Cascade, Sarah Eldon for the Wabash Valley Warriors, Krieg Moore for the Pee Wee White Knights, Sebastian Dighton for the Pee Wee Gray Knights, Kyler Keith for the Junior Black Knights, Grayson Forker for the Junior Silver Knights, Javon Robinson for the Senior White Knights, Parker Neese for the Senior White Knights, Griff Wellington for the Westfield Rocks, Patrick Stevens for the Chaos, Delaney Wilson for the Warriors, Maggie Betcher for the Outcast, and Brindley Young for the Outcast 13U. My bad. And Louis Baylor for the Riley Rec League. Congratulations to the Power Performers. And also, it's football season, so we got to honor those big hog mollies up front. That's right, it's Red Velvet's Trench Warriors. This week's youth Trench Warriors are Parker Neese, Ashton Spears, Calvin Sanders, Jonah Harrington, Jace Hickman, Cruz the Boogeyman Shepherd, Lincoln Trout, Eli the Bear Austin, Colin Drury, Parker Cox, Wade Wood, Oliver Jemison, and Curtis Reed. So congratulations to the youth. Now we got the prep. We got Cale Allen from Northview, Dresden Kenworthy from Linton Stockton, Carson Trambaugh from North Davies, Joel Harrah from Riverton Park, Reed Brown from Olney, Aiden Dino from Greencastle, the entire Cloverdale offensive line, the entire Attica O-line, David Bashua from Avon, Lucas Harris from South Putt, Hunter Taylor from North Central. And I received a message last week that said, hey, that's all offensive line. Do you do defensive linemen? So breaking news. We have the defensive prep Trench Warriors now, and they are Tristan Mackey from Northview, Ryland Cox from North Central, Aiden Sparks from Linton, Anderson Amon from North Davies, Noah Pope from Riverton Park, David Hanks from Greencastle, Damon Cox from South Putt, Anthony Horsley from Cloverdale, Grayson Clutter from Avon, and Gabe Dreyer from Attica. So I got a little closer and I lowered the camera. I did something a little special. But once again, that does it for the 100th episode of the Youth Sports Chowdown. Thank you, everybody. This has been a fun ride, and it's going to keep going. But thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, parents. Thank you, players. Thank you, everybody, for letting me do what I do to entertain you and to help motivate the children. We're going to get out of here just a minute. Once I find my mouse, where's it at? There it is. I'm not inviting anybody. We are going to end on the highlight reel once I get it up. Not that one. That one. Take care.